women are aging better than men. Let's just put that out there. We wear sunscreen, we take care of ourselves, we get work done, whatever it takes. We age better than y'all. We do. And we actually go to the doctor when we have a health issue, which is why we look better at the same age than y'all do. That's one.
92% of the cosmetic procedures done in the United States are by female patients, and only 8% are done by male patients. And these women are between the age of 30 to 40 or 45 or so.
Two, just because a woman is over the age of 30 or 35 doesn't mean she's not getting any attention. Okay, because like I just said, women age better than men. And older women still get their coochie ate. Older women still get drinks bought for them at the bar on the rare occasion that they go out. Older women still get catcalled. Older women still get attention.
I want to give all the
I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah Kadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of GMS who I learned from. Shalom to the whole for elect, pushing this word in truth and sincerity. To you ribs, to you sisters out there learning in silence and staying in order. Right? So, okay, I'm trying to figure out which mic am I on. But yeah, we just saw that video from, the Elder Apostles page he put up. And we have this woman, right, trying to compare men to women as if there's a competition, right, between men and women while she's, has makeup on and has a filter on. Talking about that women don't age. I mean, it's really hard to tell when a woman ages when she has foundation on her face, right? Even if that was true, all the makeup you have blocks the sun, which doesn't give you wrinkles. You're basically covering your face with a layer of makeup, right? But I don't even know why she would even compare men to women, as if women could, live in this earth by themselves without a man ruling over them, right? And a lot of this talk, a lot of this egotistic women empowerment came about in the 50s on up, right, when women were given what they call equal rights or whatever it may be, right? We're gonna get into some of this. It says here in the beginning, in 1923, lawmakers introduced the ERA in every session of Congress, but it made little progress until the 1970s. It didn't help that the most of the 20th century Congress was comprised almost entirely of men. So, men have been ruling for thousands of years, and even up until this point, it didn't take, it took like 50 years, even after implementing this, that women started to see more of themselves in Congress and things like that. But there's a bigger picture than this, right? Women were only given rights and considered equal only because the bankers wanted to tax 100% of the household. And it kind of puffed these women up, right, to where we are today. And now they're used as a weapon, right, to divide families. It says, in the nearly 5-decade span between 1922 and 1970, only 10 women served in the Senate, with no more than 2 serving at the same time. The picture was only slightly better in the House, right? So even after they implemented this law, they never respected you. It wasn't about you getting into Congress. It was not really about you ruling. It had nothing to do with none of that. It had to do with you being able to be taxed. And you idiot women really thought that it was about you. Right? But even the Jake women didn't receive any of this, right? Not surprisingly enough, right? It says Latinx women contributed to the success of the suffrage movement at both the state and federal level, particularly with their efforts to reach out to Spanish-speaking women. And in Puerto Rico, suffragists like Luisa Capetillo worked to attain women's voting rights, which were first given to literate women in 1929 and all Puerto Rican women in 1935. Yet, literacy tests remain an effective means of keeping some Hispanic and other women of color from voting. Long after the federal amendment was passed, it took a 1975 extension of the Voting Right Act prohibi- pro, prohibiting discrimination against language minority citizens to expand voting access to women who rely heavily on languages other than English. So even after it took 50 some odd years to somewhat get more equality. So it was a process, right? It was a process to pacify you and accommodate you so you shut the hell up because, you give these women an inch, they take a yard, so now they think they want to rule the world without men, as if, men did not, was a major contributing factor to the establishment and building through the power of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, obviously, right? Because this is the order in which he set it to, right? And he allowed this to happen because for the later days, right? And now you women are puffed up, right? You forget what your natural order is, what your natural goal in life is. What is your uh, what is your purpose, really, through the scriptures? Because I know a lot of these loudmouth women believe in God, so they say, but what does the scripture say? And can you follow it? Can you follow the prescription given by Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai? This is Titus chapter 2, starting at verse 3. The aged women likewise, that they be in behavior as becoming holiness. And the word holiness goes back to being, separate, right? Being apart from the average woman, right? And this is talking about you Jake women. You have to be separate in behavior, especially nowadays, right? Whatever all women are thinking and doing that's popular, you are to do the opposite, right? It says, not false accusers, not given to much wine, teachers of good things, right? You're not teaching good things if you're telling the young ones that man ain't nothing and that you could provide for yourself, right? That's contrary to what the prescription was given, right? The physician's not going to be happy with you, right? Verse 4, that they may teach the young women to be sober, to love their husbands, and to love their children, right? How do you love your children? By properly instructing them. How do you love your husband? By reverencing and showing respect and do what women are supposed to do to be a help unto their husbands. Right? Verse 5, to be discreet, chaste, keepers at home. Right? To be a keeper means to be attendant to the house chores and things of that nature. That's what you were instructed to do. Right? But because the small hatter banking situation, they want to tax you, right? So they put this, they puff you up to a point to make you feel some type of way that you're special and that you could do this on your own, right? You took it and ran with it, right? You no longer holding on to the things in which you was taught, right? But what the oppressor has taught you is to be alone, independent of men, things of that nature, right? Verse 5, to be discreet, chaste, keepers at home, good, obedient to their own husbands, that the word of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai be not blasphemed. Right? That is it, man. That is your goal. That's real simple. Right? Now, we live in a time where we have to pay bills and we have to do these things, right? But at the end of the day, you do what you have to do, if it be your lot. But always remember the goal, your purpose, right? Don't let your, you know, your drive and your position at work or whatever it may be, whatever got you puffed up. What did DMX says? Whatever things you he said something like, whatever it is you think you're smoking on, they make you think you're Superman. Like got that kryptonite, right? So like these women are puffed up on smoking the Esau pack, right? But these scriptures are kryptonite, man. You women do not adhere to a good instruction. And that's why most of you women are going to be destroyed. You forget what the prescription was, right? This is 1 Timothy chapter 2, verse 12. But I suffer not a woman to teach, nor to usurp authority over the man. That's what you get when these women become congresswomen and all these things. They begin to rule. Like we got women governors and things of that nature, right? That's how you know the society is backwards. You are not to follow the society or to be like it. This is the great whore, Babylon. And you take up right up with her, right? Not to usurp authority over the man, but to be in silence. This woman had a lot to say, and a lot of women like her. We got these feminists, breast out, doing protests. I mean, it just sounds crazy knowing that what Jacob's trouble is coming. Jacob's trouble is coming, and I could assure you that these feminists will be hiding. These women would be hiding. Right? We're going to jump down to verse 15. Notwithstanding, she shall be saved in childbearing. Right? That is your lot. You are to be saved just for childbearing. If they continue in faith and charity and holiness with sobriety. Right? That was the goal. Till things change, man. But you still, in the land of our captivity, the land of drawing water, shall we rehearse the righteous acts. Right? And a righteous act is for a woman to be silent at home, keepers at home, teaching good things. Anything outside of that, if you let these women rule, or women rule over you for that nature, because, women have destroyed kings, as it says in the book, I believe it is in Ezra's. Second Ezra's. So this is why women shouldn't absorb authority and be in positions of power or things of that nature, because through her we die. Right? This is the book of Sirach, chapter 25, verse 24. Of the woman came the beginning of sin, and through her we all die. Right? Because the woman was deceived by the serpent, which is a man, a serpent basically symbolizes a man of wisdom, of knowledge, right? And she did eat of it, contrary to what she was given, right? So these women cannot be given passage, because if you give them a little bit, they will go far, man. They will go far. That's why the men need to rule over them, sometimes with a rod of iron, if need be, right? Verse 25, give the water no passage, neither a wicked woman liberty to gad abroad, right? Because if she wouldn't have a guide abroad, she wouldn't have met that serpent and spoken to him and sat down and received knowledge from another man. She would have never done that if she would have stayed home with her husband. Right? You forget the purpose that you was put in here for. Genesis chapter 3, verse 16. Unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow in thy conception, right? And these women figured out a way that, well, Esau had it so where you could abort babies now, so you don't have to have babies or go through this sorrow, right? You think you could sidestep the Lord, right? But he's going to close your womb up. When the time comes and you want a child, you're not going to be able to have a child because you went against the natural order of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, right? It says, and thy desire shall be to thy husband, and he shall rule over thee. So for thousands and thousands and thousands of years, when men have been ruling, and now that we're at the end, you see the reverse. That's how you know we're at the end, right? The Lord is allowing that cup to overflow so his righteous judgment could be executed without question, right? Nobody's going to question why the Lord did what or why the Lord did this. You're going to know that the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, is real and he's coming for vengeance, right? And righteous execution speedily because of the sins of the daughter of Babylon, which is AKA America, right? He allowed that cup to overflow. And that's why you see women running amok for a short season. This is Genesis chapter 2 and 18. And Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, power, said, it is not good that the man should be alone. I will make him a help meet for him. Right? This is what women's role is to be a help, not to be the ruler and have the man help her rule. It doesn't make sense. That's not it. Right? Y'all women got to check yourselves. You so-called Black, Latina, and Native American women, if you're hearing this. You are to obey your husbands as if you would obey Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai if the man is ruling correctly through the spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. He is a physical representation and ambassador unto Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai on earth to be reverenced and respected. 1 Corinthians 11:3. But I would have you know that the head of every man is Yahushai Hamashiach, and the head of the women is the man, and the head of Hamashiach Yahushai is Yahweh. Simple as that. It's that simple. I'm not going to drag this thing out. I'll bring up one more precept. This is Ephesians chapter 5 and verse 22. Wives, submit yourselves unto your own husbands as unto Yahushai. Right? Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Verse 23, for the husband is the head of the wife, even as Yahushai is the head of the church, and he is the savior of the body. And with that, I'm going to say shalom.